blow up a U.S. ship in Guantanamo Bay and blamed Cuba.
1962. America stood on the edge of the unthinkable. The Soviet Union had Cuba. Cuba had Castro. And the United States had a plan. A plan called Operation Northwoods. It wasn't a battle plan. It was a script for deception. And if approved, it would have rewritten history in fire and blood. After the Bay of Pigs invasion failed, the Kennedy administration was humiliated. Fidel Castro wasn't just in power, he was in America's backyard. In the corridors of the Pentagon, some believed diplomacy was a dead end. They wanted action. But America couldn't just invade Cuba. The world needed a reason. Northwoods was that reason. On paper, it looked like strategy. In truth, it was theater. The proposals read like scenes from a film, each one carefully staged, each designed to shock, each pointing the blame squarely at Havana. The first pages outline subtle beginnings. Start rumors through clandestine radio broadcasts. Spread whispers in the right places. Plant seeds of fear. Land friendly Cubans in uniform over the fence to stage an attack on a U.S. base. Capture so-called Cuban saboteurs who were actually working for the United States. Start riots at the main gate of the base with friendly demonstrators posing as enemies. Then the suggestions escalated. Blow up ammunition inside the base and set fires that would be caught by cameras. Burn American aircraft on the tarmac before dawn. Lob mortar shells from just outside the base into key installations. Capture assault teams approaching from the sea. Capture militia storming the base. Sabotage ships in the harbor. Starting large fires with napalm or explosives. The proposals didn't stop at military targets. Some of the most chilling ideas aimed straight at civilians. Hijack commercial airliners, replace them with remote-controlled drones, then destroy them over the ocean, and blame Cuba. Plant bombs in American cities, Miami, Washington, maybe New York. Stage funerals for victims who were never actually dead. Produce forged documents, planted evidence, scripted radio messages, to make sure the narrative pointed only one way. The architects of Northwoods believed the American people could be manipulated, that grief and anger could be manufactured on command and turned into consent for war. With the right images, the right headlines, the right sound bites, the public would demand an invasion of Cuba without realizing they had been led to that conclusion from the start.
This was not a fringe idea from some rogue colonel. This was endorsed at the highest levels of the military. The Joint Chiefs of Staff approved it. Every man in that room signed off. The document moved up the chain of command to Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara, and from there to the desk of the President of the United States.
John F. Kennedy read it, and he rejected it. No staged attacks, no false flag war, no manufactured blood to justify an invasion. Northwoods was killed before it could leave the shadows. But the paper remained, locked away, forgotten by all but those who wrote it. It would take 35 years for the truth to surface. In the 1990s, the files were declassified. Researchers opened the folders and read the words you've just heard. The reaction was disbelief. This wasn't conspiracy theory. This wasn't rumor. This was U.S. military history, typed, signed, and nearly executed. Northwoods never happened. But it could have. And if a plan like this reached the president's desk once, how many others have we never seen? One proposal, one decision, one refusal. That's all that kept this from crossing the line between planning and reality. but its existence leaves a warning. Democracies don't always fail at the ballot box. They fail when fear becomes a political tool, when truth becomes a stage prop, when the people's trust is treated as a lever to pull, rather than a bond to keep. Northwoods is a reminder that history can be manufactured, that the perfect crisis with perfect timing, perfect footage, and instant certainty might be something else entirely. A script written not for truth, but for persuasion. It is proof that the line between statecraft and stagecraft can grow dangerously thin when the stakes are high and the patience is low. So remember this. In 1962, powerful men in bright rooms tried to sell a war as if it were a movie. Remember the name, Operation Northwoods. Remember how close it came to production. And remember that the difference between history and propaganda can sometimes be just one person saying no. Months later, President Kennedy would be shot in Dallas. Officially, it was unrelated. But for those who knew what Northwoods was, the timing was impossible to ignore.